Three chapters within Takaki's adolescence, shared with childhood love Akari, high school friend Kane, and ex-partner Risa, Blossom Story, Cosmonaut, and a chain of short stories about their distance, detail the youthful anxieties and longings of young loves dashed and unrequited, the anxieties of a 13-year-old Takaki pained by the delays of trains, on an ever-increasing journey to meet his childhood love Akari for possibly the last time, despite promises of meeting again to watch the cherry blossoms fall. The overwhelming feelings Kane feels for Takaki, and how she comes to terms with acknowledging her difficulty with grasping future prospects, and a rush of memories of better times only to be brought to a halt by the disappointment of adulthood, where a reunion with Takaki and Akari is unlikely. This is Makoto Shinkai's tone poem testament to youthful heartbreak, 5 centimeters per second, the title making reference to the speed in which cherry blossoms fall to the ground at springtime. Makoto Shinkai's film reflects on the loves lost through adolescence to young adulthood, with a deepened empathy and respect for his characters, despite their naivety and inexperience with romance. Takaki's own self-disappointment at being unable to comfort and reassure Akari over the phone when she tells him about her moving further away reinforces this inexperience and sense of naivety. Takaki wishes he could do the right thing to make things work between him and Akari. Their bond is undeniably close, and each obstacle continues to test them, but within the moment he is unable to provide the right words and sentiment. Makoto Shinkai's film does not belittle these characters for their struggles to understand the challenges their relationships face. These are young people coming to terms with the world, with themselves, and with those closest to them, at a point in their life when their emotions are likely intensifying in a manner they have not experienced before. 5 centimeters per second captures this emotional experience in a manner that is somewhat nostalgic, and certainly universal. We have all been teenagers before, and many of us have experienced the sense of love, even when we were unprepared for the challenges that could bring. The fears that our feelings may not be returned. The concerns of distance is growing. The worries that romance could distract from future aspirations. 5 centimeters per second captures these moments with a mature stillness. The quiet on a halted train caught in heavy snow in the Japanese countryside. The act of writing tender-natured letters, only for those letters to stop being written and received. Text messages written but never sent. Throughout the film, the sense of quietly reserved longing is sown throughout its images and character actions, images that are undeniably human, relatable, and believable. The attention to detail in 5 centimeters per second's background artwork is truly stunning, and must be seen to be believed, turning realistic, familiar settings into imaginative, fantastical spectacles of beauty. Within Makoto Shinkai's visual aesthetic is a deep appreciation for the smallest natural details, the movement of clouds, the gradient of a clear sky, the transition from urban to rural environment. The settings are exceedingly spectacular, astonishing, adding to the layer of atmosphere that drenches his subtle stories, transforming them into tonal poems. Many frames of his films would serve as perfect visual stills, gorgeous to stare into, soaking in the atmosphere, as if daydreaming of visiting the landscapes that fill his dreams. During the beginning of the film, Akari states that, as the cherry blossoms fall, they fall to the ground 5 centimeters per second. During the Cosmonaut chapter, Takaki and Kane watch as a slow-moving truck carries parts for a rocket that will launch later that year from their island town. The truck is moving at 5 miles per hour. Time plays a significant role within both of these small scenes, serving as an allegory for the movement of youthful romance and the act of coming of age. The progress feels slow, if the progress feels like anything at all. But like the blossoming of the cherry blossoms, and like the anticipated launch of a rocket, the results will bloom. Allegory is an important part within 5 centimeters per second. The launch of the rocket, for example, serves as an allegory for how Kane views Takaki. His struggle to reach for heights and a future far beyond hers, her difficulty in filling in a careers aspiration questionnaire for a school exercise, and her indecisive nature, she believes, is what could hold back Takaki. And so she holds back her love for him so, like the rocket, he can take flight for worlds beyond hers. Reinforcing the pitfalls of young love, Kane's love for Takaki could never be, and Makoto Shinkai's respect for his young protagonists expresses a sympathy for that sorrow. Within that moment, for a young person like Kane, that heartbreak may just feel like the biggest emotional struggle in the world. It's difficult not to sympathise with her when many of us have felt those struggles with understanding feelings of love and care within our own teenaged years. And so we watch as she cries, and we share in her heartbreak. She is worth loving, but she won't see that quite yet in herself. But her persistence, similar to the waves which she surfs, will bring her back onto her feet in due time. In conclusion, 5 centimeters per second, with its respectful sympathy towards the intimidating futility of young love, forms a poetic letter to our own younger selves, serving as a gentle reminder of how it feels to gradually learn that a love for someone will not come to fruition. It's pain, but it's also a preparation for the path life holds ahead. Ronnie Scheib, writing for Variety, discusses how Makoto Shinkai's film elevates the anime form into something reflective, stating that Shinkai extends the innate possibilities of the anime dynamic, reapplying its principles of lush effects, inflated background detail, and sometimes undernourished character animation to mirror the interiority of the characters in every nuance of their surroundings. With gorgeous landscapes and a minimalist stylistic approach to its animation, Makoto Shinkai reflects the future aspirations, the solitary loneliness, the disappointments and heartbreaks so effortlessly and naturally within the characters through the characters' surroundings, making the rural and the urban reflect exactly how these characters feel in their moments of romantic disappointment. Our hearts sink knowing that, as Akari promised to watch the cherry blossoms with Takeki once again, this promise will never come to be. Makoto Shinkai provides a sensitive, intimate visual poem that reflects on the youthful, sometimes naive, struggle of accepting that some loves were never meant to be. A special thank you to my super Patreon supporters, Gil and Konstantin Bombelli.